Assembly jionea hii expose bude ilikuwa inafaa kwa Netflix, man. It was so well produced, yani. Big up Al Jazeera. Makofi ya Al Jazeera kwanza maze. Because the way they exposed these guys to the T, yani hadi they're spilling their secrets. Kwanza venye Pattni alikuwa anasema, oh, I did this with Moi, I did that. Crazy. We're just about to review the video by Al Jazeera, the expose where some of their investigators walikuja huku Africa and then they posed as gangsters who want to clean money. They had supposedly $1 billion and they were looking for a way to clean it. Mashenanigans hapo tuko karibu kuona kwa hii video. So stay tuned, my guys. Stay tuned. Wacha to break down hii video ya Al Jazeera. Nachiki main man akona Balenciaga sweater buda. Mse, uko hivi Golden Bag ali clean out maze, Kenya alifanya mambo yake yote. Akifika huko hivi I think anaitwa Pastor Paul huko Zimbabwe, huko ni mabalenci. Achana na stop. Fleming's maybe nakatu hoteli hatari.
It's not in the books in
hoteli hatari mazezeni. I'm sorry guys.
Hong Kong or China.
It is black money. These funds are...
So black money ni pesa nenda kuoshwa. Najua mnajua lakini yeah.
Is it 100 million? Is it 50 million? Is it 10 million? Is it 20 million? Is it what?
It's more than 100.
Okay.
Hivyo ndo Buddha, mbona naka GTA character hapa hivi maze. Alafu ni gold, so ni gold themed maze. Unacheki in the tens and hundreds of millions. Ataki ya TCG 100 million. Okay, sasa tunaweza bonga.
Kamlesh Pattni is one of Africa's most notorious gold dealers. He calls himself Brother Paul after founding his own church.
Brother who?
We try to move our money to find investment overseas.
Mr. Stanley leads the I-Unit's undercover team. They're posing as gangsters.
Undo undercover reporter. Mazi anakaa Chinese gangster. This is the first time I think naona sura yake. Sikuona throughout the whole documentary if they showed his face. I think hapa ndio anakaa Chinese gangster kabisa. Anakaa maze hadi anakaa kuja masholata, anakaa kuwhoop mbaya maze. Mr. Stanley.
Who need to launder dirty cash from China.
Okay.
It's very important to get the right person.
Yeah.
It's a starting point.
That's
Right?
it, yeah.
I'm going to give it to you in a very crude way. As a way of explanation, they're looking for a hawala system
Yes.
to get the money out.
So maze, just keep that in mind. Your hawala system. Hiyo ndio Pattni anatumia ku extort wase wa Zimbabwe maze. Just karada.
Yes.
And the hawala system is based on trust and connections.
Yes.
But we need advice.
Base.
Yeah.
Infrastructure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
sure.
need to invest in you.
Yeah, if you're
Kitu iko well produced. Unasikia hiyo background music hiyo iko ni suspenseful maze. Kitu ingekuwa Netflix bana.
Because you have all the connections.
Structure already.
if you have the trust,
Pattni claims to have the
Hapo lakini unachikia hadi venye ameweka hiyo naka trustworthy. If you have the trust, amefanyaje? If you have the trust, yani nikaa najishuku ako like but umse akona kakitu, so I don't think I don't know, man. Mnaonaje hiyo body language maze? What you feel?
Already.
if you have the trust,
Pattni claims to have the trust of Africa's leaders.
Waonyeshe resume yako.
the President
Mugabe, check. Wallahi kwa nyumba ndani.
I got the award as Lifetime Africa Achievement Award.
For what? Lifetime Africa for
This is
what?
Uganda.
That's you.
Umse ako everywhere wallahi maze. Hata akai kama hii sura yake maze inaka trustworthy.
This is me.
Pattni was made a peace ambassador by the Kenyan Council of Elders.
Wallahi. That's
This is
how
the
it goes.
president of Kenya, Kibaki. This
King
is the king
Chevy.
of Ivory Coast.
What? Umse
This is the president of South Africa.
na ameva like the same regalia. I think ilikuwa one ameva sindio in most of these recent photos ama hizi zenye anaonyesha foreign presidents ameva hii gold regalia. So inaweza kuwa like the same time period alimit us wote. But imagine ini CV poa, yani ya kuonyesha msee unataka kumlaunderia money, yani niko na connections Kenya mzima buda.
Africa at that time, Zuma.
That is, of course, the AU, Africa Union chairman that time. You know, the Libyan president.
Wallahi
Gaddafi.
wame lean forward even though
He crowned the Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi as the
Wallahi.
king of kings of Africa.
great. Hiyo yote ni great maze, si ndio? Acha tu fast forward to point wanatuonyesha kuna mse mwingine pia mnafaa ambassador Hubert Angel. Sasa ndio partner wake in crime huko Zimbabwe. Lakini si wacha tu focus on Kamlesh Pattni kidogo maze. So ukimove forward tu hapa kidogo, utachiki history yake na former president Moi maze. Your suspenseful music inanibamba
Of
mbaya.
course, born in Africa, I was born in Kenya.
Okay, Mr.
Then I've been to
Balenciaga.
nearly 80% of Africa.
Kamlesh Pattni's rise to become a fixer for Africa's leaders begins in his
1990.
homeland.
We had embargo on the country in 89, 90. It was dictatorship that time. It was single party. President Moi, Arab Moi.
Ini interesting. Hebu sikia vile ana describe how alisaidia Moi kutoka from single party to multipartyism while giving him the confidence kumwambia you're not giving out your country away. You wendo the man bado yani. Yani he essentially won him the elections maze in 92.
Daniel Arap Moi refuses to hold free elections. In protest, Western donors block aid. Pattni
Wachinje!
Pattni then has a chance encounter.
I was just 24 years old.
What?
I was buying a suit in Nairobi and I met director of intelligence. Then I told him about gold. I said, look, there's so much gold flowing through Kenya, but it's nothing Kenya is benefiting. It's not the gold.
I think kuni wife wake maze. Yani ako implicated sale umse ana make hizi business deals with gangsters maze. Crazy. I'm assuming
Pattni tells
siko
the
sure
intelligence chief he has a solution.
I said, I can create 500 million, every year from this if you do a proper license of this gold. So he took me to president.
Wow.
So at 24, I became advisor to the president.
at 24. Ana rub shoulders na wacha. Umse alikuwa map out from the beginning.
President Moi. So then he gave, exclusivity.
Pattni's company, Goldenberg International, is granted
Mnajua, you all know about his scam ya Goldenberg mazi. Karibu cripple economy yetu mazi. Umse alitufyonza.
an exclusive license to export Kenyan gold. Instead, gold from what is now the Democratic Republic of Congo is smuggled into Kenya. He sells it abroad and receives a 35% commission from the government. In total, Pattni pockets $600 million.
Yani 35% yake ni $600 million. Buda, you guy. You ni in excess of 60 billion Kenya shillings maze. What? Wah, na mse ako 24 mse. Tax pesa yetu, pesa yenu maze. Taxpayers money yani ndio. Crazy.
It's shared with Arap Moi and the government officials who gave him the license.
Kamlesh Pattni is a criminal mastermind, is the only word to describe him.
Abuthikia criminal mastermind. Nazala alikuwa kwa kotini kwa akifeka akiwa mimi ni mgonjwa. Hata Kenya nani throw off ni umse hata hakai. Nivo yote tunamjua na tunajua dealing zake. But hakai the evil mastermind bwenye na hakai. I look the part ya the bad guy. Anaka very innocent, anaka nerd flani. Lakini.
He managed to implement a illicit gold money laundering scheme, which nearly took away over 10% of the Kenyan GDP in value.
10% ya GDP ya gross domestic product ya Kenya as a country, 10% of it umseali 10%, one person yani aliiba yoyote yani. Wacha, stop.
I've written books on that. I'll give you the book. Yeah, I've written on how democracy should work. But of course, in '92, there was a lot of fights, riots in the street, and they wanted multi-party.
Pattni has advice for Arap Moi. His money will buy support for the president and weaken the opposition.
Just make it multi-party. Because the money is with you, you'll still win. But just for the show. I helped the president to survive.
Arap Moi retires after 24 years as president.
Opposition came in, then they discovered me. They said, who is this young person who kept the president in power and win the election?
Good girl.
Then they fought me.
Pattni appears in court, charged with fraud.
Maze cheki hapa venye anakaa. Maze, I'm sick. I'm so sick, maze. Thief, mwizi, ni huyu ba.
At one point, he seems to be ill.
Afande wachani tu na mimi maze mi cheki mi hata siwezi tembea na kohoa. Hii hewa ni moto hapa hivi vumbi na ni msetu ni sasa mwachezea wote kila we.
Years later, the trial collapses and he's never convicted.
What?
You're a thief! This guy's a thief! He stole billions of taxpayers' funds. Shame on you!
Kia vile msa naambia na uchungu.
And you got away! Huh? You're trying to pass hapa! You're a thief!
This is just going to enrage.
Wajifanya pasta. So moving on to Umse ni like the second most influential gold smuggler in Africa. Nadia anatambua how much Pattni is just on another level. Maze Buskia describe Pastor Paul. Anaitwa Pastor Paul. Oni Pattni sasa.
Number one.
It's an Indian guy.
Indian guy. Yeah.
Pastor Paul.
He's
just a thief.
He's a thief, bwana.
He almost put Kenya into liquidation. That's how big he is. Here's an opportunity, a hell of a big opportunity to wash money here.
Wash. What's the original wash?
You want US dollars in a bank account, which would be better to have a bank account in Dubai, US dollars. So then the best thing is to meet my partner from Dubai.
So briefly, wacha tuonyeshe how juu asenge na shanga wash ina happen aje. So this is how the process works yani. Of which Pattni yako na process yake separate, but in general even the wash ina work maze in Zim. Wanaita Zim in Zimbabwe.
We do 20 to 50 million in a week.
What?
This one is 3 million.
Say
The gold is delivered to a company owned by Zimbabwe's Reserve Bank.
Okay. Ando king of wash Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. Hapa ndio wash inafanywa Afrika mzima. Hii ndo the source ndo hao.
Fidelity Printers and Refiners Private Limited incorporates security and commercial printing, gold refining, buying operations, and a mission to provide printing solutions and gold products to satisfy diverse stakeholder needs.
Fidelity Printers and Refinery. So the printing aspect is obvious. They print government material. Their big service is the gold refinery.
In return for their services, Pattni and Macmillan are given licenses to sell the gold abroad.
So nachiki Zimbabwe, the country itself will grant licenses to sell the gold. So of like ni wash sanctioned by the government yani juu Zimbabwe yenyewe imekuwa imposed sanctions on by the rest of the world, so they can't as a country hawezi trade in foreign currency, but our individuals wanaweza move foreign currency, so wamewapea licenses, nyie endeni mfanya wash yenu lakini pesa yetu mtupatie.
The license. See, like this is 2 million. We have account with Fidelity.
The competing mafias fly the gold to Dubai and sell it there. They bring the proceeds back to Zimbabwe in US dollars cash. The government needs US dollars because the local currency has no international value. The dollars buy more gold from the miners and fund further exports. The gold mafias use this scheme to launder money. They offer to help Mr. Stanley.
What would normally happen is we'd bank the gold, get the US dollars and fly it home to Zimbabwe.
Instead, Mr. Stanley is told to set up a gold trading company and bank account in Dubai.
Okay.
He can now get a license to import gold into the United Arab Emirates.
You're going to tell the bank that we're going to be trading in commodities or gold. The money will come to that account all the time.
They place clean money from the official sale of gold into Mr. Stanley's account.
You show that it's imported legally. You show that you sold it to a refinery and the money got paid in the bank account. It's very clean that way.
So I understand the process. Wako in Zimbabwe wame license wako deal in the gold, and then they want US dollars, so they take the gold and sell it in Dubai, where they have to get an account hapo in the bank that they just shown, ndo grant you a license ya ku put gold huko na kusell gold. So huko they sell it and then get their US dollars, and then they ship it back to Zimbabwe, who wants the foreign currency. Since currency yao it's basically worthless in the international market. So that is how it works. But now our boy, Mr. Brother Paul, Pastor Paul, akona his own way. Yani, you ni wash, yani, you already cleaning money, laundering up, yani, you already committing a crime there. But that Brother Paul, mazi akona another level, akona kaingine. Unajua Mkenya lazima hiyo pesa meiba lazima pia ibe ingine yake hapo hivyo maze. And you remember pale tulisema you take note about the hawala system. So that is the system yenye yana anatumia kuchuna yake, kuchuna si kidogo, msi achuni hata kiasi. Ebu just chuni. Mkenya ni Mkenya bana. 20 but atumclaim he's Indian. Umse ameiba sana, he's Indian.
Pattni then offers another way to get Mr. Stanley's dirty cash from Hong Kong to Dubai.
There are two ways of this. One is carry,
Yes.
or second is hawala.
Bas.
Hawala is sort of a catch-all term for an informal way to move money outside of banking channels. That is, in its essence, hawala.
Hawala usually involves financiers with close family or personal ties who swap funds and keep track on ledgers.
Hawala is an incredibly common money transfer system, and it works very simply. You have somebody in country A, and they get money from a customer.
Let's say you want to send $100.
In our case, Pattni's Hong Kong agent would take Mr. Stanley's dirty $100 bill.
They will mark it on their ledger as money received. They'll send a message to their counterpart saying, "We received this money, please pay out the same amount."
Another member of Pattni's Hawala operation in Dubai would pay Mr. Stanley $100.
So $100 isn't actually physically sent, but on the other end, there's sort of a settlement of accounts done.
The two Hawala agents balance their books over time as customers send money in both directions.
On the one hand, it is a legitimate mean, sometimes the only mean for economic migrants to move money, but it can also be used as a way for criminals and criminal enterprises to evade detection through the banking system.
Bas, so sasa sumelewa hawala system venye inawaka ni wewe unaenda kwa umse unataka kutuma do in UK, unakuja unapea umse $1,000 ama whatever whatever amount unataka kutuma. So umse ako UK anaenda to another person who you're like in the same organization with. So you thought how we to me through any means, aende kwa M-Pesa, aende kwa bank, you unapea umse ako na cash reserve huko, anapea umse anaenda collect huko. So unachikia hapo ume evade like pesa kupitia banks and everything else. Now with that in mind, ebu sasa ona brother Paul, ona rada ya brother Paul sasa, ujua umse ni kuna scammers alafu sasa kuna brother Paul. We. Brother Paul ni chuma. Umse ogopa brother Paul, ogopa.
This is Dimitro.
Hello.
Undercover reporters meet one of Kamlesh Pattni's couriers.
He's a guy from Zimbabwe. He's the one who flies.
Dmitro Abakamov travels regularly between Dubai and Harare. He's also a director of one of Pattni's companies in Zimbabwe. Our surveillance team observes him at work in Harare airport.
We have a lot of documentation to
Can you impress na kitu mazeni? It is a hair away from being legal yani. Juu sanctioned by a whole republic maze. Wako na licenses, msezi enda simamishwe kwa a specific airport, wako na airlines designed like kuenda hizi routes na nini like iko streamlined yani, ni organized crime bana. Ani mafia. Hii mind blowing maze. Achana na
to be allowed to handle this.
A letter from Fidelity to Dubai Customs names Dmitro and a relative of Pattni as couriers. It authorizes his company, Susan General Trading, to carry $3 million cash a week into Zimbabwe.
A week.
The Reserve Bank announces that Susan's jewelry and gold exports are the country's top US dollar earner.
Susan has developed a network that gives it financial clout, generating $168 million in 2020.
Susan's business is considered so valuable in generating hard cash for Zimbabwe that the government pays it a bonus worth 18% of its exports.
Yani, hata generate a lot of money for the government to the point where wanapewa an export incentive ya 18%. Yani, hiyo do yenye mshakula whatever yani, shika an 18% more since you guys are just nyinyi wapoa sana yani, mnacheki yani economically yani mmetu fulfill, you're just doing too good. Lakini Mkenya ni nani? Lakini brother Paul ni nani? Pastor Paul ni nani bana? Who is he?
But documents obtained by the I Unit reveal that it's all part of Pattni's latest gold scam. We tracked down one of his former accountants.
I'm big up to him. So ataka ku hide his face, aku hide like his voice. I'll just come out aseme tu kweli yani. If this is what is happening, Joko disgusted by the amount of like the whole process is already illegal yani. But inside, there's no honor among thieves. Inside the illegality, maze kuna mkora mwingine anataka kukula hata zaidi ba.
He export jewelry and gold bar to Dubai or rest of the world. In the exchange, he has to bring foreign currency to gym. On paper, he's bringing money to gym.
When Pattni's couriers return to Harare from their Dubai trips, they declare their cash at the airport.
Anyone bringing currency has to declare at the airport.
Yes, iko najua by the way. Kumbe lazima ukibeba do lazima udeclare kwa airport if you're traveling.
With the form 47 that generally we call blue form.
Sometimes they're bringing some cash from there and they declare it, but amount is less.
Sammy worked at one of Pattni's businesses in Harare.
Mbona mse ako na Indian accent? Ama ni juu Kamlesh pia ni Indian na undo inside man wake. Lakini amempeana bana. Adui ako kwa nguo yako hapo hivyo maze. Kikulacho hapo.
We've concealed his identity.
They're not declaring actual amount. They're bringing like 50,000, sometimes 100,000. But they declare as like 1 million and 2 million.
Maze kwa 50,000, kwa 1 million umedeclare 50,000. Na manchu umeenda na 920. Umeiba 95% of, you need 95%? umeenda na 95% of your do, umeiba 95% of Where?
One blue form records Pattni himself bringing $1.2 million in cash. The money is the proceeds of jewelry sold in Dubai. But Pattni
bangles at $22,000.
He doesn't bring $1.2 million back to Zimbabwe.
What does he bring back to
They
Zimbabwe?
give bribe to the custom guy there. They tell them to stamp their blue form, put the amount there, that they are bringing 1.2 million, but actually he did not bring that 1.2 million amount.
Raj records the actual amount returned by Pattni in his ledgers. Instead of $1.2 million, he brings less than 100,000.
So maybe 1.1 Buddha. Yani ini hey, mse, yani isibe hata 25%, unaiba maze 90% plus. Aya, so if you're following the story, swali yako ni juu lazima atarudi kubuy gold tena, si ndio? Lazima arudi kubuy gold in Zimbabwe ndo aende a export to Dubai ndo auze huko ndo arudishe dollars huko hivyo, si ndio? Lakini sasa kama ameacha pesa yote huko kwa huko bank, si ndio? Si ameacha $1.1 million in Dubai, ya amerudi na less than $100,000. Atabayaje nini? Atabaya na foreign currency, how will he buy gold in Zimbabwe? Hapo ndo hawala system inatokea sasa.
We have to officially declare at the airport. This is the airport declaration.
He leaves the bulk of the money from the sale of gold in Dubai.
Those are my bangles. $22,000.
The flight number, you can see that. Yeah.
Pattni now has insufficient funds for the next round of gold buying. In order to keep his export license, he's required to buy gold from small-scale miners.
Now he need more money to buying gold in Harare. So he collect from market.
Pattni makes up the shortfall from the Hawala market. He collects cash from Zimbabwean clients who want to send US dollars to Dubai. He uses their money to buy the gold, which is exported and sold as before. Pattni claims his 18% commission from the Zimbabwean government. In Dubai, he pays his Hawala clients with the proceeds of the gold sale.
He collect that money, he get his commission, he paid them in Dubai.
The much-needed hard cash.
But if you think about it, it's almost genius Kenya Umsa amedu yani. See, guy, like, ni tu ni illegal, lakini usiibe hivyo lakini bana. So tumia tu hiyo akili plus uko na hii I feel like ameiba domob yani, mbona endele tu kuiba yani. Why
doesn't enter Zimbabwe's economy.
With the gold export, Kamlesh Pattni pretending that he's helping the country with the foreign reserve. He's not bringing any foreign currency inside the country. He's taking all foreign reserve outside the country. So he's just making fool of the people around him, the government officials.
Maze, yeah. So in short, ukitaka maze endo one the whole, it's a very interesting piece of documentary or just news segment. Ni very informative, maze ni entertaining, inafaa kwa Netflix. Actually, nilikuwa glued to the screen maze hivi. Kama Trossard. Nacheki kweli. Haya. Yes, maze. So endo watch yo kitu maze on your own. Ikona 3, I think also imetoka mpaka episode 4, so iko na 3 more episodes zenye zitaenda kutoka mazee, ndawa update. If you liked this type of video, niambie in the comment section down below. Usikwe Kamlesh Pattni, usikwe KP, usikwe Pastor Paul, hata kama enda tu uone documentary yote. Msee mwingine wazimu bado ni pastor fulani mwenye pia yeye ni amefiat mazee. I have been your boy Tony Mputia. Hopefully you'll enjoy the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, stay safe and peace.